Lamine Yamal, the best youngster in the world right now, no doubt about it. At just 17, this lad is absolutely carrying Barcelona. It's mad to think that at the start of last season, people were talking about him as a super sub or a nice prospect for the future. Fast forward a few months, and he's become absolutely essential to the team, representing the very future of Barcelona. We've all heard it before, loads of so-called next Messis who never quite lived up to the hype. But honestly, this one, he might just be the real deal. Let's dive into this sensation, and like all great stories, we're going straight back to where it all began. Rocafonda, that's where young Lamine Yamal's story starts, or at least as much as you can say for a lad who's only 17. Yep, he was born just 17 years ago, July 13th, 2007 to be exact. But when it comes to football, he's been flying through the ranks. In Rocafonda, they've always known Lamine Yamal is something special, and he's still got a strong bond with the place. One local even calls it his family and emotional core. Rocafonda's part of Mataro, a town with about 120,000 people, just a 40-minute trip up the coast from Barcelona. It's got a prime spot geographically, but it's a humble, working-class neighborhood tucked right in the middle of some wealthier areas. His surname is actually Nasraoui Abana, not Yamal. That's just his middle name. With a Moroccan dad and a mum from Equatorial Guinea, Lamine Yamal was born in Esplugues. The family first moved to Mataró, then on to Granollers. Lamine Yamal didn't have it easy growing up. His family didn't have much. His mum, with roots in Equatorial Guinea, and his dad, with a Moroccan background, were both Spanish, and Lamine himself was born in Spain too. But they scraped by, doing whatever jobs they could find, all with one thing in mind: giving their boy the best future possible. At one point, things got so tough the family even had to split up. When Lamine was just 3, his mum, Sheila, took a job at a fast food joint in a nearby town called La Torreta. That's where they met Inocente Diez, a man who would change Yamal's life. Known as Kubala after the FC Barcelona legend Laszlo Kubala, Diez was a former footballer himself, though he mostly played at the local level. When he crossed paths with Lamine and his mum, he was the coordinator of a local club, and he urged Sheila to bring young Lamine along to training. She did just that. Even when the family had to move back to Rocafonda, little Lamine kept training with La Torreta, but his dad didn't have a car. So Diez, being the top bloke he was, stepped in and drove him back and forth between the two towns. La Torreta FC didn't just look after Lamine on the pitch either. They helped out his family and other struggling families by lowering training fees and sorting out flexible payments. They did everything they could to make sure young talent like Lamine stayed in the game. Now, La Torreta might not be a name everyone knows. It's a modest little club from La Roca del Valles. But trust me, scouts don't miss a beat. No team in Catalonia goes unwatched when it comes to spotting talent, and from Lamine's very first training session, he showed he had something special. And all it took was one trial. Legend has it, a Barca scout was watching a youth game in La Torreta, and the moment he saw Lamine on the pitch, he was straight on the phone to his Barca contact. By 2014, the call came, the trial happened, and the rest, as they say, is history. The best way to sum up just how talented young Lamine was, or rather is this. While most of La Torreta's top kids usually head off to academies like DAM or UE Cornella, Lamine went straight to the big leagues, FC Barcelona's academy. In his 5 years playing 7-a-side football from pre-Benjamin to Alavine A, Yamal was a standout. His technical ability was off the charts. That left foot of his, pure magic. He could finish, dribble and ping passes with absolute precision like a surgeon on the pitch. At La Masia, under the guidance of David Sanchez and Albert Puig, Lamine just kept getting better. From the age of 7 to 12, when the game's still 7-a-side in Spain, Lamine was always one of the standout players. And here's a stat for you. In that time, he played 151 matches and bagged 301 goals. Yes, you read that right. And while he mostly played as a forward, he'd sometimes be slotted in on the left wing, which in the 1-3-2-1 setup meant more of a fullback role. Making the jump to 11-a-side football isn't a walk in the park, but for little Lamine, the game might as well be second nature. Playing in the infantile B side under Albert Puig, the lad's already stacking up goals and assists like it's nothing. But the real magic in his game, It's how he doesn't hog the limelight like some flashy young players might. You see, when you're as good as Lamine, better than your mates, even better than the opposition, it's tempting to just take the ball and do it all yourself. But that's not him. His football is explosive, no doubt, but it's always for the team. It's not just about dancing through defenders for the sake of it. Every dribble, every bit of skill, it's got a purpose. To break lines, to create chances, to score. It's never a showboat fest. His football's got style, sure, but it's all about getting the job done. Now, most youngsters struggle when they make the jump to 11-a-side football. Suddenly there's a lot less space to work with, but not Lamine. Sure, his goals per game took a dip, 56 goals in 98 games, but his assists shot up. We don't have the exact numbers because Spanish youth leagues aren't the best at tracking stats, but Barca's youth coaches can't stop singing his praises. Lamine Yamal's rise through the ranks at Barca was nothing short of rapid. His development was so quick, he was constantly being bumped up to higher age groups. And with each new level came fresh coaches, new demands and bigger challenges. But none of that seemed to faze him. By the age of 15, he was already turning out for Barcelona's under-19 side. To put it in perspective, not even Lionel Messi was pushed through the youth system that fast. But Lamine, well, he leapt over every hurdle like a gazelle. Now, over his 2 years at Infantil, the pandemic tried to throw a spanner in the works. In March 2020, just as he was finishing his first year, everything came to a halt. They didn't get going again until early 2021, and they had to squeeze in a packed league schedule. Even though Lamine hadn't played much 11-a-side football because of the pandemic, the youth team bosses knew they had something special on their hands. So instead of moving him up to Cadete B under Paul Planas, they took a gamble and bumped him straight to Ivan Carrasco's Cadete A. Well, it paid off, big time. During his 2 years at Infantil, Lamine switched between playing as a number 9 and number 7, but by the 2021-2022 season, he had cemented himself as a proper false 9. It was a role that suited him down to the ground. He could be the creator, the goal scorer, always involved in the build-up, but still there to finish the job in the box. His final match with Cadete A, the Catalan Championship against Sant Andreu, was something special. The fans at Martorell couldn't stop raving about it. They knew they were watching something on another level. Everyone thought, right, next season he'll step up to Juvenile B, easy. But that wasn't the plan. Instead, they did something unheard of at La Masia. They made him skip Juvenile B entirely and start the season with the big boys in Juvenile A. Not even Leo Messi got that treatment. But again, it worked out perfectly. Under Oscar Lopez, Lamine Yamal pulled off yet another incredible leap in quality. This time, he found himself in a new role, locking down the right wing for the whole season. But he wasn't your typical number 7, standing wide, waiting for the ball, then darting past defenders to whip in a cross. Lamine brought way more to the table. The team practically revolved around him. The game shifted to his side of the pitch, an area that usually doesn't get that much attention. He turned that right flank into his personal playground, linking up beautifully with the full-back, the midfielder on his side, and even combining with the number 9 and the left winger. It all flowed so naturally. Lamine didn't just own his wing, he made it the heartbeat of the team. By December 2022, it had reached the stage where Barca's under-19 coach, Oscar Lopez, couldn't ignore the talent any longer. He went to Xavi and made it clear this lad absolutely deserved his chance with the first team. Xavi, trusting his colleagues' judgment, called up the 15-year-old to train with the senior squad. And just 4 months later, history was made. Lamine came off the bench in the 83rd minute of a La Liga match against Real Betis, making his debut for the first team. At 15 years, 9 months and 16 days old, Lamine became the youngest player ever to pull on the Barca shirt in a competitive match. He didn't quite break the La Liga record. A few other 15-year-olds like Oscar Ramon, Pedro Irastroza, Sanson and Luca Romero are still ahead of him in terms of days, but his debut was a massive moment in his already remarkable journey. Though Lamine missed out on breaking that one La Liga record, he's since smashed plenty of others, making a habit of rewriting the history books. At just 16 years and 38 days old, he became the youngest player ever to start a La Liga match. A week later, at 16 years and 45 days, he set another record by becoming the youngest player to record an assist in the league. It didn't stop there. Lamine Yamal made his debut for Spain on September 8, 2023, in a European qualifier against Georgia. The Spanish FA didn't waste any time getting him into the squad, eager to lock him down as a Spain player. He could have gone the Morocco route thanks to his dad, but he chose La Roja, ready to carve out his future with them. Yamal didn't just get his first cap, he shattered records. At just 16 years and 57 days, he became Spain's youngest ever player, stepping in for Dani Olmo in the 44th minute. But he wasn't done there. He capped it all off by becoming Spain's youngest goalscorer, bagging the 7th in a stunning 7-1 rout. A few months on, he started in the Champions League at 16 years and 83 days, breaking yet another record, and soon after, he became the youngest player to score for Barcelona and in La Liga, both happening when he was just 16 years and 87 days old. And as if that wasn't enough, Lamine then became the youngest player to feature in the Euros at 16 years and 338 days, before capping it all off by scoring in the tournament just shy of his 17th birthday. That goal made him the youngest player ever to score in the Euros. And to top it all off, he went on to become the youngest player to be crowned European champion. A perfect birthday present, as he turned 17 the day before the final. Talking about the Euros, Lamine Yamal truly announced himself to the world at Euro 2024 in Germany, delivering a string of dazzling performances and smashing records left and right. The semi-final against France. That was the stuff of legends. Spain was staring down the barrel, but Yamal stepped up and curled in a breathtaking equalizer, making him the youngest scorer in the tournament's history. Absolute scenes, and he didn't just show up for the big games. He played in every single one of Spain's 7 matches, starting all but one, the matchday 3 win over Albania. By the end of the tournament, he had bagged a goal and 4 assists, not too shabby for a teenager. And this season, he's already bossing it for Barcelona and tearing up La Liga. We're talking 7 games, 4 goals, and 5 assists, proper numbers for someone so young. He's absolutely crucial to Barca's attack, always in the mix, creating chances left, right, and centre. And you can see why defenders are sweating buckets when they face him. After just 6 league games, he's topping the assist charts. But it's not just the assists, it's the way he just glides past defenders. He's attempted 37 dribbles so far, which, no surprise, puts him right at the top of the league. It feels like Lamine's already come such a long way, but let's be real, he's only just getting started. The lad's got everything it takes to become a footballing legend, no doubt about it. But here's the thing, he'll only get there if he keeps his feet on the ground. So far though, he's shown he's got the right head on his shoulders, and his skills with the ball is out of this world. Football feels like it's heading in the right direction again, and Lamine's right at the heart of that. We can't wait to see what he's going to achieve next in his career. Cheers for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you're always in the loop for what's coming next. See you in the next one.